This typewriter broke. The tapestries here are ones that were on exhibit at the Nordic Center in Duluth. They are created by Robbie LaFleur, who works in Norwegian Bildviv. I'm not sure if I'm saying that correctly, but it's a woven picture style of doing tapestry. It was quite beautiful and relates to this video in that the Olympias I'm going to be looking at today are mid-century, kind of their tapestry of what they had on offer back in the 20th century. And also Paul Auster, who used an SM9 and even wrote a book about it, he writes in a kind of tapestry way. It's not linear. Characters are sometimes not even given names. And so it's sort of a patchwork, like putting a tapestry together. And so that's where this episode is going. Bright sunny day. Kind of snowy out there, so difficult to see. And this is my dining room table tapestry. Little Groma Calibri I'm trying to put back together. The index didn't work, and it was because I think somebody took out the platen and didn't put it back together quite right, and now I got to figure out how to put it back together quite right. And here's some packing material, which is really strange. It's a floor plan for a house, and an amazing garage. I mean, I think the garage is bigger than my house, so crazy stuff comes in the mail. But here's my old SM7. It doesn't have a ribbon in it now because I borrowed it for another unit. I never have enough ribbons about. But this episode is about the SM line. So this is my machine. It's broke in that the shift lock here won't hold. I mean, the shift works, everything works, it's fine, but the lock won't work. And underneath, you can bend it a little this way, you can bend it a little that way, and either it won't work or I bend it enough and then it won't unlock because it's too far, and it's just millimeters difference. So, so that's one SM. This is a SM9 that Katie Federley has supplied me with. Now this unit really doesn't work very well. It's got issues. The springs for the tab set and clear, they're gone. It's supposed to have something a spring that brings it back up here, and then you goes down, but those two springs are missing. And this spring seems to have a little something wrong with it. There, it sticks. It's so annoying. So you do half a step, and then you have to kind of, there we go. Doesn't always happen. Sometimes it happens. I tried to increase the string strength underneath here. I can show you in a bit. Troublesome. And then sometimes the action on the escapement will only do half a space when I do a particular key. And that seems a little bit random. So sometimes the letters are too close together. But people love the Olympias. Mostly they work really well, and they've got a nice action, and it's very responsive. And this is what we're going to have a look at. So here is Paul Auster, and you wonder why he fits into this mix. Well, he used an SM9, they say. He wrote a book about it, so I guess he actually did. And that's him as a young man. He's actually got this as a memoir, his writing failure, basically. And it's interesting because I've read this one I've had it for many years. And you can see maybe you can see the difference in this little envelope I used as a bookmark, sticking out of there for years and years, and it discolored. It's kind of cool. He's an interesting writer. He's kind of a patchwork sort of guy. In the appendix to this, he has several plays. One's called Blackout, and the characters are green, black, and blue. So. And in a lot of his writing, he doesn't give you very much about the character. They're very mysterious and kind of undefined. And so you don't even have Mr. Black. It is a man, but so you've got these different characters just going by black, green, blue, which is very, very fun. But there was a story I wanted to recount. It's when he was scrambling around doing lots of different jobs, and a guy approached him to write a book for his wife. And he says, that was where things started getting sticky between me and Monsieur X. Madame X didn't have it in her to write the book on her own, and he believed that I was the one person on earth capable of helping her. I might have accepted the job under different circumstances, but since he was also wanting me to go to Mexico to do the work, I told him I wasn't interested. Why the book had to be written in Mexico was never made clear to me. Research, local color, something along those lines, I'm not sure. I was fond of Madame X, but being thrown together with her for an unspecified length of time struck me as less than a good idea. I didn't even have to think about Monsieur X's offer. I turned him down on the spot, figuring that would close the matter once and for all. Events proved me wrong. True, indifference has power, I learned. And my refusal to take the job irritated Monsieur X and got under his skin. He wasn't in the habit of having people say no to him, and he became hell-bent on changing my mind. Over the next several months, he launched an all-out campaign to wear down my resistance, besieging me with letters, telegrams, and promises of ever greater sums of money. In the end, I reluctantly gave in, as with every other bad decision I've made in my life. I acted against my better judgment, allowing secondary considerations to interfere with the clarity of my instinct. In this case, what tipped the balance was money. I was having a hard time of it. just then desperately falling behind in my struggle to remain solvent, and Monsieur X's offer had grown so large, would eliminate so many of my problems at once, that I talked myself into accepting the wisdom of compromise. I thought I was being clever. Once I had climbed down from my high horse, I laid out my conditions in the toughest terms I could think of. I would go to Mexico for exactly 1 month, I told him, no more, no less, and I wanted full payment in cash before I left Paris. It was the first time I had ever negotiated for anything, but I was determined to protect myself, and I refused to yield on any of these points. Monsieur X was less than thrilled with my intractability, but he understood that I'd gone as far as I would go and gave in to my demands. The same day I left for Mexico, I deposited 25 $100 bills in my bank account. Whatever happened in the next month, at least I wouldn't be broke when I returned. I was expecting things to go wrong, but not quite to the degree that they did. Without rehashing the whole complicated business, the man who threatened to kill me, the schizophrenic girl who thought I was a Hindu god, the drunken, suicidal misery that permeated every household I entered, the 30 days I spent in Mexico were among the grimmest, most unsettling days of my life. He goes on to say how he started out with this woman who was unable to write a book. And he says, again and again she broke down and cried. Again and again we got nowhere. After several of these attempts, I understood that the only reason she was bothering to make an effort was because of me. She knew that I was being paid to help her, and she didn't want to let me down, didn't want to admit that I had come all this way for nothing. It was the essential flaw in the arrangement. To assume that a book can be written by a person who is not a writer is already a murky proposition. But granting that such a thing is possible, and granting that the person who wants to write the book has someone else to help with the writing of it, perhaps the two of them, with much hard work and dedication, can arrange an acceptable result. On the other hand, if the person who is not the writer does not want to write a book, of what use is the someone else? Such was the quandary I found myself in. I was willing to help Madame X write her book, but I couldn't help her unless she wanted to write it, and if she didn't want to, there was nothing I could do but sit around and wait until she did. I really enjoy his method of storytelling. He's got a really fine way with words. Well, don't these make a pair? SM7, SM9. I'll do a type test, although the SM9 is working so poorly. Olympias are nice typers. They've got a good, you can arrange the tension, so if you like it a little lighter touch or heavier touch, you can arrange that. I failed to mention the SM7 has a carriage lift. Let's see. And I can't do the caps because it won't stick. And you'll notice with the next SM9, it is a segment shift, not carriage. So SM9, as I said, is not quite up to it. Yeah. Now, what's the matter with you? Okay. Ribbon wasn't moving. Are you still in frame? Yeah. Let's make sure that we are going the right way. Nope. You gotta go the other way. I will try that again. that's horrific. That's very nice typeface, sans serif. I don't remember off the top of my head what it's called, but each typewriter manufacturer has a different name, and I used to really know which was which. But the SM7, again, has the more traditional, less modern. And they have a nice action, and if I could get the space bar on the SM9 to work reliably, there you go, it looks fine, and then it doesn't, I don't know. But we can see. So, right in here, you can see that's the spring that works brings the space bar back, if it came back. Right next to it here, there should be a spring, and there should be a spring here for the tab things. I will show you how it's arranged. And you can see there are two springs there, and there's a spring over there. Focus. Spring over there for, and they are decidedly missing. So, might be that the tabs on this one are dead forever. I don't know. I don't really use tabs that much, so it wouldn't really bother me very much. But as you can see, I had some difficulty getting this to actually work, and after a while it seemed to get in the groove. Nice typers. And Paul Auster used this one. Well, not this one. He'd never get anything done if he used that.